Outrage culture is a funny thing. It makes no sense to me. Something happens, people get mad, and then stop caring after a week. Sometimes even the next day. As if whatever it is they were mad about, they didn't really care. Maybe it's a good thing. When two YouTubers, T. Martin and Pro Syndicate, were exposed that they own a Counter-Strike global offensive betting site where people can bet on skins, they didn't disclose that they made the site, and have been trying to do damage control ever since, saying that they eventually came to own it when they've been the owners since day one. Yes, what they were doing was illegal on several scales, not disclosing it, selling gambling to minors, rigging it to make it look like they're winning big, and so on and so forth. Several other YouTubers talked about this, expressing their anger. Other websites have discussed this, showing their disappointment, but I'm not. I'm not here to condemn the actions of the two running their illegal betting site. Plenty others have. I'm just here to say, who cares? I'm not saying that in a dismissive tone, even though I pretty much am. But I mean, who really, truly, honestly cares? And the answer is no one. No one actually cares. They've said their piece and they move on. That's all they do. They don't actually try to inspire change. It's easier to complain about it and move on. No one does anything to improve the world around them. It's just easier to complain on social media or whatever and hope someone else will fix it. Will T. Martin and Pro Syndicate face any legal ramifications? I don't know. Do I care? Not really. Do you? I don't think you do, because I don't see anyone talking about it anymore. In fact, people get pissed off when you bring it up now. So what was the point of people getting mad in the first place? If you don't want to see those two sent in jail or at least heavily fined, especially Pro Syndicate because he hasn't disclosed deals he's made before, like a game he was helping fund and showed it on his channel and served a profit from it, so it's habitual behavior for him, but does anyone care? You pay $60 to play video games with microtransactions that are essentially scratch tickets for a random chance to win cosmetic digital stuff, or to exchange real currency for fake currency to progress in a game that purposely hinders you from playing it so it can encourage you to pay more money, even though you already pay them. They even offer you insurance for your fake kingdom for $15 a month so that it restores it to how it was after it was attacked by other players. This is an outrage, that's an outrage, but no one does anything about it. The powers that you're mad at will just wait for you to get tired and go home. When it was revealed that Tracer from Overwatch is gay, some people lost their shit over it. One person on the Overwatch forums asked for a refund because of it. Really? I call bullshit, dear sir, because I know for a fact that you would masturbate, furiously mind you, to all the Widowmaker Tracer porn out there. Are you that mad that your waifu is batting on the same team as you are now, and your balls are a nice shade of navy blue? Unless you're Rick Santorum, who thinks homosexuality is a threat to American families, which it's not, because other people being gay does not affect you. Go cry into your Tracer love pillow over your shattered dreams. Really, why would there be backlash to this? It's not like Blizzard is going to give Tracer a new ability that causes her to start diving into the muffs of the female heroes, but the people complaining about it, they're still going to play the game, they're still going to play as Tracer, so why get mad about it? It's not social justice warrior rhetoric seeping into their games that a character has been revealed to be gay. Granted, my money was on Hanzo or Reaper, but that's besides the point. I swear gamers can be their worst enemy sometimes. They're jumping at social justice warrior boogeymen that aren't there, to the point where they are becoming exactly like social justice warriors. Tracer, the mascot of Overwatch, is gay. So what? Don't think about it if it bothers you that much. It's not the end of the world, life goes on. But the thing is, you really don't care. But if Tracer being gay really bothers you, pretend her sexuality is the payload, because you'll ignore it and go about your day. If all you have to complain about is Tracer being gay, or how female video game characters are dressed, or act, or how they're treated, let me tell you something. Your life must be pretty awesome if that's the only thing rustling your jimmies. But here's an example of something that someone should care about because it affects their everyday life. I had to borrow nearly $1,300 to replace the clutch in my car because it broke the day after Thanksgiving. I don't have that kind of cash on hand. That is a real problem that I need to care about. But a video game character that's gay, that's not even a blip on my radar. I can't believe that there's so much pointless bullshit that people concern themselves with, only to move on shortly after. Final Fantasy XV was delayed and was reported by Gamnesia, a small little independent website. Then Kotaku reported that it was delayed, and it was like No Man's Sky being delayed all over again. People taking to GameFAQs and confirming it to be false because they called 15 different GameStops and then blaming it on, and I'm not joking here, a social justice warrior feminazi trying to cause another riot. Square Enix later confirmed the delay and said it was because they wanted to avoid a massive day one patch. Granted, the game still had an 11GB patch, which I assume was the rest of the game, much like how Gears of War 4 had a patch about the same size. So it wouldn't have mattered who reported on the delay. People still would have been outraged. It's like they go through a messed up version of the 5 stages of grief. Denial and anger are mixed together. They skip bargaining, followed by depression, then anger again, followed by acceptance. Dude, it's a video game. Video games get delayed. You know that games get delayed. It's a fundamentally known fact that games can get delayed for any number of reasons. Duke Nukem Forever and Half-Life 3 have been delayed to the point where it's a joke. It's practically accepted that Half-Life 3 is never coming out. But a Final Fantasy game getting delayed, God forbid that happens. You don't see moviegoers getting pissed when a movie is pushed back, delayed, or canceled. Why is it that only gamers do this? What's with this outrage culture that's been perpetuating people's daily lives? Something that affects me in no way has been delayed or changed. I'm angry. Roar. Why? Why are you mad that Tracer's a lesbian? How does that affect you personally? How has your daily life changed in any way? The answer is, it hasn't. How has a game being delayed affected you personally? In no way is your everyday life affected in any way, shape, or form. But what would affect your everyday life? Getting fired from your job, getting divorced, needing expensive repairs on your car that you can't afford, bank forecloses on your home, parents getting divorced, loved one dies. There are so many other things that can affect you, yet you choose to get angry over something that's only a minor inconvenience or something that would never affect you in any way. And the thing is, these minor inconveniences and things that will never affect anyone, they won't care after a few days anyway, and even if they do, then they must have a pretty good life if something that's a minor inconvenience gets them all wound up in a tizzy. But you can't live your life like that. I don't believe in magic rabbits, but I don't lose my shit when I pass by an Easter egg hunt. There's one thing that I've learned, and my parents taught me this at an early age, and I think that parents nowadays aren't teaching their kids this anymore. So if there's one thing you can take away from this, it's this. You have to play the hand you're dealt. You cannot take a mulligan when given a bad situation. I have a friend who years ago, and he was the youngest of our group, would get angry at things that he could not control or had no say in. And we had to tell him that he just had to accept the fact that some things are out of his control, and he had to accept that. But now we have a bunch of wheels crying for grease that they don't need, nor do they actually care to get. They're just taking away grease from the squeaky wheels that really need it. People are just bitching and moaning for the sake of bitching and moaning. They don't actually care for whatever cause it is that they're bitching and moaning about, because they're just gonna move on in a matter of hours. So it has people like me asking, if you don't actually care, why bother? It's why I've adopted the mantra of, don't think about it. And I think more people need to do that as well. Trust me, it makes life so much better.